AFTV, DT, we were just saying, you know what, the game today has reminds me of that game that time when we played against Birmingham. Different sorts of, we were actually kind of going for the league but Mopé, the player that injured Leno, is the player who scores the winning goal. I mean, it was bad enough that we was thinking, it's going to be a draw. But to actually lose the game in the end, I mean, it's shocking. And that European hope's gone now, right?
It's Arsenal, innit? Major surgery needed. We've known it for a long time. We can be as confident as we can be. We can try and be positive. We can try and hope. But the reality is that we get slapped in the face every single fucking time, and I'm bored of it now. I'm not going to sit there and rip into Mikel Arteta because he's inherited a load of shit. But what I will question are his substitutions. There's nothing wrong with questioning substitutions. There's nothing wrong with questioning tactics. There's nothing questioning, decisions that are made during the game. Even when Brighton brought it back to 1-1, you're sitting there saying, right, we've got 3 subs left. We need to win. Make the substitutions. I don't know what Martinelli's done to not feature in 2 games since we've been back. We need creativity. Despite what many might feel about him, Mesut Ozil's a player that can still maybe create something.
You know what? Take the Ozil one out of it. The Martinelli one is the one that's baffling me, was baffling everyone in this room, right? Because you want a goal, yeah? And the one thing we know is that apart from Aubameyang, the next person you'd say that is more likely to get you a goal is Martinelli, right?
Yep.
And we need a goal, and we bring on Willock, Reece Nelson. Why are we not? It's really, really baffling, I have to say.
We're lacking energy. And Martinelli brings you exactly that, energy. People cry for Lacazette to play and everything else, but he was poor today. Our finishing in general was poor today.
We had enough chances, didn't we?
But again, looking at the goals back, Rob Holding, too slow, not quick enough. The same reasons why he hasn't been starting. The same issues that I looked at when we played the friendly against Brentford. And I watched how he get turned so quickly. Standard stuff, Robbie. Mikel Arteta has inherited a very, very average team. I said years ago, we're a top 8 side. We're lucky if we're that at the moment. We're not. Depending on what other results are and whatnot, we will be in the bottom half of the table. It's absolutely shocking. It's embarrassing. I will question Mikel Arteta about substitutions because I've got a right to find out why? Because it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense to just me. It makes no sense to a lot of people. But the performance, 1-0, you do the hard work. Pepe hasn't had a great game, but he scores.
Wonderful goal as well.
Yeah, and then it's about being compact, about being a unit, defending, working. And not only do we mess it up and concede an equaliser, we go and concede another and lose. And it makes it even worse. The football's boring, it's sideways, it's slow, we look lethargic. What more do you want me to say without people cutting pieces of this interview out as memes and whatnot?
Let me ask you, the Mopé one, right? He scored the winning goal in the game, right? Now, you could see Leno was very angry when he came off.
Justified.
In the live stream, you was pretty vocal that you thought that he'd done it deliberately.
He left one on him. It's as simple as that. Look, I've got no problem with a player competing for a ball 50-50. Leno had that ball in his hands long before he had even got near him. He could have easily stopped, easily pulled out. Leno is 2 feet off the air to catch a ball. The moment you hit him, he can't control his landing because his balance is gone. That's as dangerous as a 2-footed tackle. And it's as simple as that. But what does the ref do? Nothing. No booking. Not a thing. You look at the lad that played in midfield for them, the young lad.
The black guy.
And 5, 6, 7 fouls, constant. How do you eradicate that and stop that from constantly happening? You deal with it from the very beginning. The referees stand firm and they say, right, one more, you're in the book. He does it one more, he gets a booking. He don't do it no more. But the more you keep letting him get away with it, the more he keeps doing it.
I can't believe that I'm stood here and I'm just thinking, Brighton.
Haven't won in
Brighton
2020.
Haven't won in 2020.
What did I say to you before the game?
They've done the double over us this
Yeah.
season.
Well
Brighton, you know, not Man United, not Man City, not Liverpool. Brighton have done the double over. And, you know, the defending, again, absolutely shocking, like you said.
Shambolic.
And this is what we're going to be, because, you know, now we've lost our best goalkeeper. Xhaka's out, Mari's out. You know, I mean, it's, you know, we've got a very tough game, the next game, up against Southampton.
Yeah,
who looked very, very good the other day.
A place that we normally
Again,
travel to.
again, another
really
place
well.
who've got a bad record.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what needs to change in the summer?
Everything. The mentality of the club as a whole needs to change, Robbie. We're not talking about one or two players. We're talking about mentality here, all right? Because the mentality of the squad is pathetic. You know, you look at the way that they play. We've still got better players than Brighton.
Yeah.
We've still got a better squad than Brighton. But yet we cannot beat teams like this. Why? Because the mentality is weak. We're a spineless club. And that starts from the top. Stan Kroenke's spineless because he doesn't bother. Does he ever turn up? Does he care? Spineless. Yeah? Josh Kroenke, spineless. Yes, Daddy. I'll do that for you, Daddy. I'll go over there. Oh, let me show my face and look like I'm interested, Daddy. No, none of you are interested. You know, you've got to look at the recruitment as well and what's gone on there. There's serious questions that need to be answered. We're Arsenal Football Club. Why should we not be angry? People say, oh, you get really mad, you get angry, but you're a top 6 side, you're this, that. Why should we settle for that? Why should anybody settle for that? Why should anyone settle for their team to not be the best? I've got no problem if they lose to the better side and they give 110%. But what do I see? Players going through the motions. Players that can't do the basics in football. Players that can't defend. Players that can't pick up their man. Simple stuff, Robbie, that they should be learning as kids. Where's it gone? What's happening on the pitch? You know, simple stuff. You look at the second goal. He steps over the ball and Mustafi's let him spin him. There's no reading or understanding of what he's going to do. Rob Holding, too slow to react to the fact that he may step over the ball. So he gives him that yard so he can flick the ball into his path. It's a catalogue of errors constantly. It's schoolboy defending. Brighton are near the bottom, but yet they've got a better defensive unit than us. Work that out. The reason why these teams struggle and are down the bottom, it's not so much their defensive side of things. Yes, they're not the best, but it's because in attack they don't score enough goals to win games. That's one of the biggest issues with teams that fight relegation, is goal scoring. But yet there's a lot of teams down in the bottom half, say bottom half, but yet we're there now, but teams that fight relegation that have got better defensive records than us. I don't even want to look as to how many goals that is we've conceded this season now. And there's no more excuses. Honeymoon period's over. Mikel Arteta has had that honeymoon period. We see all the nice training videos. We see all the fancy edits. We see everyone together. We're a club that, you know, what am I seeing on the pitch? We don't look together. Because the difference is that when you show training videos and you edit all the nice things, it looks great. It can look great. I can go home now and edit a load of videos and I'll look amazing. Yeah, you can do the same with photos. You can Photoshop yourself and make yourself look great. But the reality is that when you play football and there's no edits, there's no hiding place. And that's the issue. We don't have a hiding place. We get found out and exposed every single time. We are possibly one of the easiest teams to play in the league. I can imagine any team that goes up against Arsenal is rubbing their hands. Who we got at the weekend? Ooh, Arsenal. We'll be all right, lads. As a player, as a manager, it's easy. So easy to play against us. And it needs to start from the top. But how many times have I sat here and said it, Robbie? You could sit here. Again, we talk about editing. You could put in a load of edits from years ago. And I'll say the same thing. It starts from the top. Until Stan Kroenke actually shows that he cares, invest in the club, put some money in the club, you know, and not just that, but we need to see things happening on the pitch. Because I'm not seeing anything on the pitch. I'm seeing crap football. It's boring. Hector Bellerin, he's getting caught out of position all the time. You know, the way we're playing, he ain't planting no trees. It's fucking bullshit, Robbie. And I'm not even taking the piss anymore. It's schoolboy stuff. How are you ball watching? How are you getting caught out all the time in defensive areas? Where's the unit? Where's the organisation? What do you work on a daily basis in training that is not being replicated on a weekend? What are you actually doing? Nothing. And I'm bored of it now. Do you know what I mean? Bored of it.
So Europe done for you?
Europe was done anyway, but you have to hold hope. You have to be positive because you get criticised. And the reality is, you know, a victory today, we go 3 points behind 5th place. That's the reality. But the harsher reality is that we're just not good enough. And I've said to you, if we got Champions League football, we'd get humiliated. We had better players than the ones that we've got now, and we're humiliated in the Champions League. Imagine what some of the best players in the world would do to that shit. And them tactics and the way that we play. They would absolutely embarrass us. We're getting embarrassed in the Europa League. So what makes you think that we're ready to play in the Champions League? I told you, we need to take a long, hard look at ourselves, take 2 steps back. Go out of European football altogether. Forget European football. It will do us good. And then what we need to do is we need to go and get every single player in that team that is not a part of the next process. Players that are not good enough. I'm sorry, I'm not listening and having hangers-on anymore. Because these hangers-on are earning ridiculous fucking wages. Start again. Rip it up, start. And then there's no hiding place. You can say where you've built from. But all we're doing at the moment is adding shit to shit. It's all you're doing. It's like polishing a turd. Ain't going to get you gold, is it? Yeah. I'm bored of it, man. Bored of it. And then we're going to have to go through the same thing on Thursday.
Next game.
Yeah, great. Whoopie-doo. The only highlight I get from all of this is that I ain't got a fucking drive home from the game. I didn't have to go on the M6 on Wednesday in the pissing down rain. I don't have to go home from Brighton. Might have got to stick a rock. Woo. Bored of it.
Football is back.
Back again, yeah?
AFTV will be bringing you comprehensive coverage of every game from now until the end of the season.
Football's #1 narcissist is back. Back again, mate.
AFTV, back again.